Live from Los Angeles, here's Everyway Woman.
Welcome to Everyway Woman. There are some major changes happening in the talk show world. I want to talk about it, ladies.
Well, yes, there are changes because I think that the producers and the executive producers and head of networks are just trying to find their place, and they really have lost touch with their audience. That's what I think that's happening.
Why do you think they've lost touch, Madison?
I think they're a little bit too focused on a younger, richer socioeconomic class that doesn't really exist except for in a very small percentage.
Well, it exists on, the real teenagers of Beverly Hills, but that was not how I grew up in Grand Rapids.
Right, no, it isn't. Exactly. And you're right, reality TV in its way has wreaked havoc on our household and on our women.
And also, I don't think personally that the producers are willing to take a risk. This is a conversation we've had among ourselves, and we talk about other shows and why some make it and some don't. And I always go back to the Katie Couric show because it's what a great opportunity for America's sweetheart.
I loved her.
I know, right?
Her.
But she did not take advantage of what she had to offer older women.
Right.
And she had a built-in audience that she didn't go after.
Well,
and
that's because she had this formula that everybody else has been using. It doesn't work.
The risk-taking and not taking a risk, and that at Everyway Woman, we want to take a risk because there's so many other women out there.
Right, and the risk that we want to take is we want to reach out to real women.
Do you relate to anything right now?
I do, because at the same time, a lot of the times when the show's out there, they look into ratings. So when they pick somebody, they pick them usually because they're popular, but at the same time, do they bring ratings? So that's how they end up.
Do you feel like they're ever considering you, Anna, as a Latina? You're in your 30s. Do you feel like you're ever being considered by these producers?
No, actually, no. I'm happy to be a part of this because you don't see a lot of Latinas out there, in the industry of in talk shows.
Right.
I would love to see that.
I think they're going after the Latino market, but I think they're going after it for the wrong reason, what you said, for ratings. I don't think they're really putting a lot of consideration into who they're casting to be.
Right, and who is actually connecting with them and who is actually watching them. And I don't know if they're representing the culture as well that comes behind it. And it's not just the strict culture from where it comes from, but how that is melted into what's the culture now.
But I think you see it a lot in the Spanish channels. Do you really see Latinos really out there unless it's like a sitcom or something?
Right.
Yes, and that's why when Madison and I thought about creating Everyway Woman, I think one of the main sticking points was that we wanted a show that other people can relate to and didn't feel like, well, I'm just a consolation viewer, I have no choice,
Madison,
and
what was
stuff
that
like
light bulb for you? What sparked Everyway Woman?
For me, it was getting into touch with being domestic. Because before getting married, I was not really a domestic kind of woman. I was out. I was just living free. I didn't care where my underwear ended up. And I mean just on the floor. What I mean is on the floor, if it ended up on the floor. After getting married, putting clothes on the floor was not okay anymore. All of a sudden, I needed to know how to do a lot of things that I didn't do before. So
I remember a conversation we had on almost the same topic. I remember Madison and I was like, we want to show that women can feel like they could do it themselves, and we go back to your wedding cake.
Oh
and
my
I
gosh,
remember you telling me about your wedding cake.
Wait, Martha Stewart.
Tell us about your wedding
cake. I watched Martha Stewart.
Yes.
She was like middle class, forever mom type of woman, right? So I looked up to her because she was the only one out there that she was the closest person that I could relate to, and I'm half Korean. Okay, so she put out a book of wedding cakes that said that I can make a wedding cake, and I thought, okay, my husband-to-be is super picky. He wants to have this special fondant icing, and Martha Stewart says I can do it. So, all right, Martha Stewart, I'm going to do it. My wedding night. Okay, my wedding night.
You did on your wedding night.
At 4 a.m. in the morning, I am rolling out this dough.
Fondant? Are you kidding
No,
me?
I had no idea.
hard.
Nowhere in the book did it say you need a spatula the size of a dining table in order to lift this frosting up and put it on a cake.
Madison, you are crazy.
Absolutely.
Nobody stopped
But
you
that
for
was who I was relating to because she was the only one out there. And I was
That's the
so
point.
frustrated because that's not part of who I am. But I was trying to be somebody I wasn't.
But it was actually kind of the building blocks of every woman.
Yeah.
We were talking about, okay, they're doing stuff that's not real, and real women are trying to do it, and they can't do it.
And they're so frustrated.
And they were so frustrated.
And do you know at Ralph's, I asked what a truffle was, and they sent me to the chocolate section, which I went to. But there's a nut called a truffle, and you don't shave that.
You want a truffle oil?
Yes, I shave chocolate truffles into my shrimp dish, my 15-minute shrimp dish.
Are you kidding me?
Because I didn't know that it was.
And that's really what the show is about, because we wanted to educate people, have fun, and at the same time, because a lot of people didn't know anything, and we were both saying,
what was that point for you?
It was just that conversation. We both I realized, Madison realized, we needed this information to be in one spot.
And like balancing a checkbook. I remember going to Yolando and I don't understand why at the end of the month I'm getting bounced here and there and everywhere. And Yolanda looked at me and went,
that's the problem. Nobody ever taught us how to do
No one
things.
teaches this stuff. And sometimes some people can only learn from television, from people in the media.
Or from our friends.
That's from our friends.
Or from our coworkers. Or from our mothers.
And
or from our...
You know what? YouTube doesn't know it all. I'll tell you that, because I can Google some answers and then I try it and it's not for real.
I think it's a beautiful thing being a part of this panel and a part of the show, because just like 2 days ago, yesterday, yesterday.
That's okay.
I got stopped at Starbucks, paying for my, mocha, and then the girl, she was like in a 26, Caucasian, and she was just like, oh my God, like, I can't believe you're here. And she took a picture with me.
You got recognized.
I got recognized.
That's someone you connected with.
And that's who.
And because you provided something for her that she wasn't able to get somewhere
what was
else.
it that she told you?
That I gave, she goes, you give me hope.
And
honestly, that's what made me really speak.
And you became real to her.
Yes.
I think I texted you and I'm like, I almost cried.
And every time you say it, I kind of cry, because that was our whole purpose of doing the show.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
So,
Beyond hope, what are you hoping to leave with the women who are watching, or men that are watching the show?
That, you know what, don't give up. I think the show is about not giving up.
And be who you are. Be true to yourself and be who you are.
Different women, different conversations, different opinions, but it's always great. Here on Every Way Woman. Stay tuned.
Are you an everyday woman?
Coming up next, more Every Way Woman.